Sleeping, you were wide awake watching the major changes from Tropical Storm Erin to Hurricane Erin.
Yep, bumped up last night about 11 o'clock. And that does include the Tampa Bay area as far as the hurricane watch goes now. Had to raise that threat because it seems to be trying to turn a little bit more towards the north.
Which is right in our area.
Yeah, this is all just not the best news for us because it does bring a whole lot of rainfall. We'll go over everything in just 1 second. Here's the way it looks outside right now. Not too bad, and that's the way it should be for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you know, usually before the big storm, we have beautiful weather for some reason.
The calm before the storm.
Oh, yeah.
It's a live picture out there for you. Our temperature is about 77 degrees, where it is just about across. Now notice it is really beginning to wrap up. Storms are coming straight across the center of this thing, which is located here now to the west of Long Island in the Bahamas. Very nasty weather there right now, 75-mile-per-hour winds. This is not the best news because the low is weakening and headed to the south, which will allow this to possibly strengthen a little bit more as it heads towards the west-northwest. Feeder bands already approaching the Miami area. Let's take you there by NextRad right now and show them to you. These are fast movers, by the way, to the south and to the west. Wrapping the Doppler radar right now. Notice there is nothing here. This is ground clutter. Altitude 76.0 west. It is moving to the west-northwest at 10 and quite possibly could pick up a little bit more speed. The winds are 75 miles per hour. This is what it's done to the Florida Peninsula. A hurricane watch from Bayport down to Everglades City. Includes Bradenton, Sarasota, St. Petersburg, and Tampa, as well as Fort Myers. From Everglades City across to the East Coast to Sebastian Inlet, a hurricane warning and a tropical storm warning from New Smyrna Beach on down to Sebastian Inlet. This means that we could experience hurricane-force winds within 36 hours. It's time to put your hurricane plan into action. It's better to be safe than sorry because it could be right on top of us as a tropical storm a little bit south of the Tampa Bay area by 2 o'clock tomorrow. Coming on shore sometime around midnight near Miami as a hurricane comes across the peninsula and dies down just a little bit, but still very strong winds here in the Tampa Bay area. As a matter of fact, Highlands, DeSoto, Hardee, and Polk counties will be under gusty, very heavy winds advisories here. High wind warnings, that's easy for me to say, over the next couple of hours. Here's the way it looks across the United States. That's what's governing where this goes. It's a big area of high pressure that will begin to kick it over in our direction. This front will have no effect. And that was Tropical Storm Dean, which is now just an area low pressure sitting over Texas. Now here's what it means for our marine forecast. Batten down the hatches, northeast-east winds at 45 knots. Seas running 6 to 14 feet. It will be extremely rough out there. Here is the tidal information for you, and the sunrise is at 6:52. Here's the way the forecast goes. 90 degrees today, about a 60% chance of rain, and we go downhill. Cloudy skies, a great chance of rain tonight, 76 and windy tonight. Here's the way it looks for the next 5 days. A 90 to 100% chance of rain, 85 tomorrow. Keep this in mind. The Tampa Bay area is under that hurricane watch. By Thursday, it pulls away, and we should be looking good. As that thing comes on in, we have an easterly wind that pushes the water out, which is good news.
Yeah.
As it gets out there, the winds will swing out of the southwest and pump it back in. That's where you have to start paying attention to coastal flooding. And also just plain flooding, because we're so saturated out there. Any additional rainfall could set things off. Just keep it right here on News Channel 8, and we'll bring you the latest and ride it out with you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Well, Hurricane Erin will soon become a thing of the past. And when it is, you'll get back to normal, right? You'll get outside, and you'll even fire up the old Barbie.
That's right, but throwing a few burgers on the grill.
Jumpy after heavy rains.
Those people who are allowed to come here specifically are oxygen dependent, electrically dependent, have medical needs that could not be met at a Red Cross shelter, but don't need hospitalization, and those people who live in mobile homes that require dialysis.
Now, several cots are right now set up in the corner of the room. Shortly, those will be set up throughout this room and 2 other rooms in this building. They expect about 350 people to show up tonight and possibly into tomorrow. They'll also be serving them meals, and right now, a lot of people are on the way right now. Hillsborough County officials actually went out and picked up people who needed help getting here. Marty?
All right, thanks a lot, Don. Going to be busy there tonight as well. Now, if you need information about shelters that are near you, grab a pen and some paper. We'll have a list of important telephone numbers in just...
It's well secured.
Secure. Something that's a little hard to feel when a storm like Erin is deciding where to set down. In fact, the main activity as you head up the coast is watching TV and watching that radar to see where Erin looks like she is going to set down. And as you know, it's going to be a long night. We're all going to be watching.
Yeah, I really think it is. You've talked to a lot of people today. Are people nervous about this, or are they just saying, okay, let's get ready and do our job?
You know, it's amazing. As you know, in Florida, with almost every storm, it seems like people get so weathered and they're so used to hurricanes. They just get out there and put up the boards and get ready for it.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. We'll talk to you soon. Well, Frank, we are here right now, and it's amazing to look out in the roads in the middle of West Palm Beach and see no one's out here. Very few cars. You can also see along the harbor, they've moved all the big, huge boats away along outside the Intercoastal Waterway. Even people along ritzy Worth Avenue have spent the day getting ready. They've been boarding up their shops and stores, making sure everything is secure for Hurricane Erin. They don't...
...per-hour winds, and Erin is moving to the west-northwest, as we said, at 14 miles per hour. Here are the watches and the warnings. For us, in our viewing area, it's tropical storm warnings from Swanee River down through the Tampa Bay area down to Fort Myers. The hurricane warnings are over on the East Coast and also the shorelines of Lake Okeechobee. Now, our tracking map shows, this is the latest projection coming from the Hurricane Center as of 5 o'clock tonight. It shows the hurricane to be just barely inland at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that would be very near Fort Pierce. Also tracking across the state to the west-northwest through the pre-dawn hours and the morning hours, and by 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, exiting the state off the coast from Hernando County. Now, hurricane winds will stay at about 85 miles per hour. This is the expectation up to landfall. Decrease a little bit throughout the overnight hours and the morning hours, but still be packing winds of 70 miles per hour.